morning, class! Welcome to New Normal Education. I am your teacher in Statistics and Probability, Grade 11. And now, let's begin!
We are all blessed again today with the gift of life. Thank God and let's make something good today. One small positive thought in the morning can change your whole day. Let's start our class this morning with an opening prayer. Let us pray.
Dear God, I praise you and I thank you for this wonderful day. Grant me the grace to understand our lesson for today, through whatever media or modality may it be, and bless me so that I may appreciate this grace of being able to study despite of the challenges we are facing because of this pandemic. Make me realize the value of education and the beauty of learning, so that each day I will be more motivated to do my responsibility as a student. Bless our classmates, that they too may see your goodness in everything and see this time as an opportunity to show our love to our parents by studying well. Bless our teachers so that they will become more inspired to teach us and see this time as an opportunity to show compassion in their chosen profession. And lastly, our parents so that they may become resilient, especially during these trying times. This we ask in your most holy name. Amen.
Hello. Good morning. How are you today? This morning, we will discuss a new topic in our subject Statistics and Probability 11. For second semester, Quarter 3, and today is May 21, 2021, and it's Friday, 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock a.m. I am your subject teacher, Tashana Tidakiado, Teacher 2. Before I will proceed to the proper discussion, I have here the reminders. Reminders on health protocols. Remember to observe health protocols at all times. Don't forget the basics of good hygiene. Regularly and thoroughly clean your hands with an alcohol-based hand rub or wash them with soap and water. Do not forget to wear mask and face shield. Remember, prevention is better than cure. And now, let us review first the definition and concept of a random variable. What is a random variable? A random variable is a set of possible values from a random experiment. For example, tossing a coin. We could get heads or tails. Let's give them the values heads equals 0 and tails equals 1. And we have a random variable x. We have here the illustration of the random variables taken from www.mathsphere.com. www.discretefun.com. Our objectives for this morning discussion. At the end of our lesson, you must be able to identify the two types of a random variable, distinguish a discrete and a continuous random variable, and participate actively in the lesson activity. What do you think is our lesson for today? We will discuss on the topic discrete and continuous random variables in our subject Statistics and Probability 11. Let's try the activity. Materials, paper and pen. Directions. In a piece of paper, copy the following random variables below. Put a check on random variables that are countable. Put an X on random variables which have no exact values. We have the following random variables. Number 1, the length of time a battery lasts. Number 2, the weight of an adult. Number 3, the percentage of children in a population who have been vaccinated against measles. Number 4, the number of books purchased by a student in a year. Number 5, the distance between a pair of cities. Number 6, the number of children in a family. Number 7, the time spent to study every day. Number 8, the attendance at a football game. Number 9, the number of patients treated at an emergency room in a day. Number 10, the number of classes taken in one semester by a student. Are you done answering? I guess so. Now, let's check if your answers are correct. For number 1, the length of time a battery lasts. A car battery will last between 3 to 5 years. The given random variable has no exact value, so we will put an X. For number 2, the weight of an adult. BMI or body mass index interpreted the normal or healthy weight of an adult is to 125 pounds to 168 pounds. So the given random variable has no exact value, so we will put an X. For number 3, the percentage of children in a population who have been vaccinated against measles. The given random variable has no exact value, so we will put an X. Number 4. The number of books purchased by a student in a year. The given random variable is countable. So therefore, we will put a check. Number 5. The distance between a pair of cities. The given random variable has no exact value. We will put an X. Number 6. The number of children in a family. The given random variable is countable. So we will put a check. Number 7. The time spent to study every day. The given random variable has no exact value. So we will put an X. Number 8. The attendance at a football game. The given random variable is countable. So we will put a check. Number 9. The number of patients treated at an emergency room in a day. The given random variable is also countable. So therefore, we will put a check. And last, number 10. The number of classes taken in one semester by a student. The given random variable is countable. So we will put a check. Who got perfect score? Very good. What do you call the random variables that are countable? How about random variables which have no exact values? Discrete random variable is called to the random variables that are countable. Continuous random variable is called to the random variables which have no exact values. Now, we will discuss the two types of random variables. We will first discuss the discrete random variable. Discrete random variable is a random variable where the set of possible values is at most countable and finite or defined. For example of the discrete random variable, the attendance of a grade 12 SMAU class. Based on the attendance of a grade 12 SMAU class, we have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15 together with their advisor. So, we have 15 grade 12 SMAU students. That is an example of discrete random variable. The second type of random variable is continuous random variable. Continuous random variable is a random variable where the set of possible values is infinite and do not assume exact values. The example of continuous random variable is the distance between a pair of cities. So I have here illustration. I use this illustration for an example. The illustration is from New York to California. The measured distance. So the distance between New York and California is 3,923.1 kilometer, and it is equivalent to 2,437.7 miles. We can say that a random variable is discrete when it has a finite or countable number of possible outcomes that can be listed. Outcomes can be presented as a whole number. Another example of a discrete random variable is the number of persons. Look at the picture. How many persons are there in the picture? So we can count. We have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. So we have 14 persons in the picture. So this is an example of discrete random variable. The outcome can be presented as a whole number. Another example of discrete random variable is number of cars. So based on the picture, how many cars are there? So we can count. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 cars. So it is countable. The outcome can be presented as a whole number, and this is an example of discrete random variable. And we can say that a random variable is continuous when it has an uncountable number of possible outcomes. For example, is gallons consumed of a certain car. This is the illustration. So we have here 1 imperial gallon is 4.546 liters. So this is decimal. 160 fluid ounces. So that is equivalent in 1 US gallon. So 3.785 liters or 128 fluid ounces. Another example of the continuous random variable is the time spent to study every day. So I have here the illustration, and based on the illustration or the picture, We have 2 hours and 55 minutes and 18 seconds. So, this is uncountable number of possible outcomes. So, this is an example of continuous random variable. Let's try the activity. Determine whether the given random variable x is discrete or continuous. Then, after determining the given random variable, explain your reasoning. So, are you ready? Okay. Let x represent the number of Fortune 500 companies that lost money in the previous year. So, is it a discrete random variable or a continuous random variable? What's your answer? Is the given random variable x a discrete random variable or continuous random variable? Okay, let's check. There are only 57 original Fortune 500 companies that have been on the list every year since 1955. So, as what you can see in the illustration, we have here the original Fortune 500 companies. We have Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Avon, and etc. The number of companies that lost money in the previous year can be counted. We can have 0, so there's no company lost their money. 1, 2, 3, and so on. So, x, or the random variable, is a discrete random variable. Who got the correct answer? Very good. Okay, so another example or another activity. Determine whether the given random variable x is discrete or continuous. So explain your reasoning. So let x represent the volume of gasoline in a 21-gallon tank. So this is the illustration or the example or the picture. So what do you think? Is the given random variable x a discrete random variable or a continuous random variable? And now, let's check your answer. Gasoline weighs 0.7489 gram per cubic centimeter or 748.9 kilogram per cubic meter. The amount of gasoline in the tank can be any volume between 0 gallons and 21 gallons. So, the given random variable x is a continuous random variable. Who got the correct answer? Very good. Now we will make a generalization on the topic. A random variable is said to be discrete when it has a finite or countable number of possible outcomes that can be listed. Outcomes can be presented as a whole number. A random variable is said to be continuous when it has an uncountable number of possible outcomes and do not assume exact values. The outcomes can be presented as a decimal, a fraction, and by an interval on a number line. There is an interval. So that's the difference between the discrete random variable and the continuous random variable. Is there any questions? Clarifications? I hope you understand our topic this morning. So since there is no question, so we will have the evaluation. Test 1. Directions. Determine whether the random variable x is discrete or continuous. Explain your reasoning. Number 1. Let x be the weight of your family members in kilograms. Number 2. Let x be the number of male of your family. From the early childhood, child, pre-adolescent, adolescent, adult, all male of your family. Number 3. Let x represent the number of households in your community. Are you done answering? Since you're done answering the evaluation, so we will check if you got the correct answers. Okay, for number 1. In science and engineering, the weight of an object is the force acting on the object due to gravity. Weight can be represented not a whole number. So the number 1 is a continuous random variable. For number 2, in your science subject, male is the sex of an organism that produces the gamete known as sperm, which fuses with the female gamete. Number of persons should always be represented as a whole number. So the answer for number 2 is discrete random variable. Are you familiar with the word household? What subject did you encounter this word? Yes, that's correct. Even in sociology topics, we encounter this word household. A household is where one individual or a group of people live together at one address and share living space. A household consists of one or several persons who live in the same dwelling and share meals. It may also consist of a single family or another group of people. The household is the basic unit of analysis in many social, microeconomic, and government models, and is important to economic and inheritance. Households represents the number of families. They are counted as a whole. So the answer for number 3 is a discrete random variable. And for test 2, you will be given score based on the rubrics. I will read to you the rubrics. 5 points meet standards if the student provides correct answers. 3 points approaching standards if the student demonstrates some correct thinking about the answers. And 1 point not yet approaching standard if the student demonstrates some correct thinking but shows little understanding about the answer. And this is the question. Distinguish a discrete and a continuous random variable. And that's all for today's discussion. Advanced study in lesson on probability distribution of a random variable. Thank you for listening.
I hope you have learned something for today.